everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you a birthday card that I made for my kid. In the summer, this kid moved to California to go get his doctorate degree, and this is the first year that I'll be missing his birthday. When he was living up in Flagstaff going to NAU, I could drive up there, and so I'm kind of sad. But I have been working on a large canvas. Well, it's not that large, but it's pretty large. And you will be seeing that one later on in the month when I get time to edit all of it. I haven't finished the canvas yet, but it features his favorite musician, Buckethead, and I was supposed to make it at Christmas time, and I didn't have time to do it, and so I'm doing it now. February, big time for birthdays in my family. I need to make lots of birthday cards and hold lots of make lots of desserts and everything and celebrate all those birthdays. So you'll probably be seeing some other of these types of projects coming up during the month, either gifts that I made or cards that I made. Because if I'm doing it, I usually film it and then I put it on my channel for people to see what I'm doing. So that's why. So these pieces of gel prints are from different times. I know you guys watch me gel print, and you've probably seen all of these at some time. A couple of them are recent, some of them are older. And when you see the other project that I made for this particular son, you will see these same papers. So the card kind of coordinates with the art that I made because I wanted to use these same colors, the oranges and blues and aquas, which I'm really kind of into now. I think orange and blue and aqua together are really just nice. I really like them. So I decided to just use the scraps left over from the background that I was working on to make the card. So I cut a piece of like 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 tag board. This is just packaging material that I saved, kind of a heavier, not super heavy cardboard, but just a little bit heavy. And I glued those different scraps on it using matte medium, just like normal. And I did fold them around the edges to the back, which I thought would be nice because it would cover the edges of the board because it's kind of a grayish color. Then I got out some different small stencils. These are 4x4s, all from StencilGirl. I just have them on my desk. That's what I've been using because they're on my desk. I think both of the ones that I used are probably from Stencil Club because most of my 4x4s are from Stencil Club. Actually, the maze one, the labyrinth one, might not be. It's not. I bought it, but I think circles and labyrinths are cool, so that's why I bought that. But Stencil Club, you get a 9x12, a 6x6, and a 4x4 every month. So most of my little stencils that I have right next to my desk on a ring are from Club. It's a good deal. It's $25 a month, and you get those stencils automatically, plus videos and inspiration from the people who designed them. There's a video from the person who designed it with them using it and talking about it. It's very, very fun and interesting, so I recommend it. So after my stenciling was dry, then I got out a Posca pen and I'm making my own marks by kind of tracing around these splatters that I stenciled on there and then making some lines that kind of coordinate with this other very angular stencil. I know that one was recent. That was a recent club one. That kind of, it looked like cubes. It was a bunch of cubes, kind of an interesting stencil. Then I also got my black Posca pen and I'm tracing around some of these hash marks, just adding a little bit of my own hand to the collage work. And then I took a piece of 12x12 cardstock, cut it in half at 6, folded it in half, and that makes a 6x6 square card. I do have envelopes that match this 6x6 size, so that's, this is my go-to larger size of card. If you mail this, it does cost extra. It is considered an oversized card. So You might want to go with the regular sized one if you are worried about that. That postage just keeps going up and up and up and up. Every time I go over there, it seems like it's higher and higher. So it's kind of crazy. Then I have this foam tape. This originally, the roll was like probably a foot and a half across. It was huge. And it's down to just this size. I've had it for years, like over 10. And I'm just now getting down to a manageable size on this roll. It's a an economic way to buy this, and this makes it's very sticky so that this thing will never come apart, and also it gives like some dimension. It makes that layer up higher than the background, so it just makes it more interesting. But I do have that white space around the edge, which I like. That's why I made sure that this piece was smaller than 6 by 6 so that it would fit on there. Then I need to make some sort of a focal point, and I decided to do some rubber stamping. So I got out a strip of cardstock. This is actually watercolor paper. It's just whatever, I wanted a scrap and some inks. And I've got Garden Patina archival ink color, which is kind of a turquoise. And I thought that matched pretty well with the background. I didn't want to go with all black. So this stamp set is from Stampin' Up. It's old. It's probably not available unless maybe on eBay or something. I'll put the name of it in the description box below where I put the links, but it's likely you'll be able to find it. But there's stuff like this. You can find stamps that are letters, and you can find ones that are funky. It doesn't have to be exactly the same one. And you could probably find it for cheaper than what I bought this for, which it was an expensive stamp set at the time. It's, vulcanized red rubber on maple mount, which, makes it a little bit more expensive. So I had this other stamp from a different stamp set that says happy, and I like the idea of combining fonts, you know, different ones together, different sizes and different styles. I like the way that looks. So I went to stamp the happy on the other side, and the ink, my Memento ink pad was just basically coming out gray, not black at all. So I flipped it over and redid it because that's what you got to do. Then I cut this down on my guillotine cutter so that to make sure that it was all straight. And then I decided to just use my scissors to make it into like a little banner looking thing. It was more interesting than it coming all the way across the card. So I hope you're enjoying this video of my collage birthday card. If you are, please remember to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment or question below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, turn on those notification bells so that you know when there's a fresh new video, which, could be any time, usually every other day, but sometimes I just disappear for a week. Yeah, that happens. Also, you can share this on Pinterest if you're interested in showing it to other people. All these things help my channel grow and help people find me. YouTube is huge and there's lots of things to see. So thank you for watching me, of course, and also thank you for sharing and, promoting my channel. So then I made a little shadow using a black Posca pin just to make it look a little bit more dimensional. And I still thought that it needed something. So I decided that if it's your birthday, you should have balloons, or at least one balloon. And so I got a scrap of orange cardstock out of my stash, and I cut a balloon shape out. And then I used a Faber-Castell pet pin to make kind of some shadows around the balloon to make it more dimensional. And then a white Posca pin to add some highlights, because if you got shadows, you should have highlights, right? And then I drew a string. I stuck it down with tape, and then I drew a string so that it made it look like it was tied to the A with a little bow. And I thought that looked better. I thought it looked more balanced and the composition more clear, and making it obviously a birthday card. Then, even though, I did think there needed to be a little bit more black up in this upper left corner, so I did a little bit of splatter. and dried that up. And then even though this card is for a boy, you can still have bling, I thought, as long as it's subtle. So I got out this Spectrum Noir. It's a clear ink with little micro mica in it, tiny little sparkles in it, just to finish it off. And it was sparkly. So that's it for me. Thanks. Bye bye.